And this is how you make a round macrame wall pocket. Hi everyone, it's Nicole here and welcome back to Boat Not Macrame. I'm super excited to be sharing with you guys today's tutorial, and that is a macrame round wall pocket. So we typically see a lot of wall pockets made from wooden dowels. That is an easy way to start off a wall pocket, is by attaching cords onto a dowel using Lark's head knots and working our way down, and then working our way back up to make the folds to form the wall pocket. Or another way to do it, if you want to end it with fringe, is to make the pattern all the way down and then attach another pattern on top of it to make the pocket. For this particular pattern, we're going to go with that second approach, and we're going to start off with the ring instead of a dowel, and we're going to work our way downwards and then attach another pattern on top of it to make the folds. What's unique about this pattern is we started it off differently with double half hitch knots instead of Lark's head knots. And we added a little loop before finishing off the double half hitch knot on the other end of the strand of cord. This way you get little loops sticking out from the side, giving it a little bit more texture to the piece. And then all we did after that is we made a bunch of square knots all the way to the bottom and then reattached the vertical cords onto the bottom of the ring using double half hitch knots again. For the fold part of the pattern, we started off with square knots and then we added a double half hitch knot diamond pattern so that we can add tassels later on. And then to make the fold, we weaved the vertical cords of that fold pattern to the back, and then we sealed it at the back with double half hitch knots. There are definitely a lot of intricate and unique knotting techniques that I've used in this particular pattern. I really hope you guys will enjoy it and learn lots from it. And without further ado, let's get started. Before we begin, I wanted to first go over some materials I will be using for this pattern. I will be using 4mm cotton cord along with a 10-inch metal ring. And then listed here below are the suggested cord lengths. Here are the materials I will be using for this pattern. I am using a 4mm cotton cord in 3-ply in the color Natural. This recycled cord is from our rainbow cord line, which offers multiple different colors in 3 different sizes. The best part about this cord is how sturdy it is to work with, including the 3-ply, as it doesn't unravel too easily. The ring I'll be using is a 10-inch metal ring. You can use a 10-inch wooden ring too if that's what you prefer. I feel that the metal ring is a little bit sturdier, so I have chosen to use that. And we are now ready to start the pattern. We're going to start with the metal ring and then a strand of cord at 270 centimeters long, folded in half, and we're going to place the loop end at the top of the metal ring, and then starting with one cord end, I'm going to start with the left cord end. I'm going to attach it onto the ring using a double half hitch knot. You're going to have to hold the loop end at the top, take the left cord, make a half hitch knot, and then finish off with a second half hitch knot after that. Once that's complete, take the other end, so the right end now, and we're going to repeat the same thing with another double half hitch knot right beside it. But this time, don't pull on the first half hitch knot too tightly. We're going to leave a little bit of space between the left double half hitch knot and this right one. And then finish off with one more half hitch knot to complete the double half hitch knot. Once it's tight, we're going to press the 2 double half hitch knots together, and we have a small little loop that sticks out. Repeat this pattern 9 more times to the right with the remaining 270 centimeter long cords, and then repeat for 4 more of these on the left and 4 more of these on the right with the 260 centimeter long cords. Once we're done, I just wanted to quickly pause and recap what we have done. The middle 10 loops here are made with the 270 centimeter long cords, and then the far left and far right 4 cords are made from 260 centimeter long cords. Now we're going to make a series of square knots pretty much from here all the way to the bottom of the ring. We're going to start with the middle 4 cords for a square knot, then continue 4 cords at a time beside it for a row of square knots. Then in between 2 square knots, we're going to make an alternating square knot underneath, and then repeat it all the way to the left and then all the way to the right. Then make another alternating square knot row underneath. To finish off this third row, we're going to take the far left 4 cords and the far right 4 cords and make a square knot. Then in between each of the square knots underneath, we're going to make an alternating square knot row and repeat that pattern for a total of 4 rows underneath here, making sure we make 1 less square knot with each row. So as you can see here, the last full row of square knots is that third row, and then after that we've added 4 more rows of alternating square knots with 1 less square knot with each row. Now all I'm doing here is moving and shifting the square knots so that we kind of get a semicircle pattern with these square knots here. Once you have shifted the pattern as much as possible to turn it into a semicircle pattern, we're going to attach 2 more strands of cord here. We're going to take our first strand of 200 centimeter long cord, and we're going to take the loop end and weave it through the left side of the far left square knot, and then take the cord ends through to finish off with the reverse lark's head knot. Then repeat the same thing on the far right side. Now starting with the far left 4 cords, make a square knot, then continue consecutively to the right 4 cords at a time for a row of square knots. Before we continue with our square knot pattern, we're going to take the left 2 cords and attach it onto the left side of the ring using a double half hitch knot. So starting with the far left cord, make a double half hitch knot. Then taking the next cord, we're going to add another double half hitch knot underneath. Now we're going to repeat the exact same pattern on the right side. Once the double half hitch knots have been made on both sides, we're going to start with the far left 4 cords again and make a square knot, and then continue to the right 4 cords at a time for a row of square knots. Now repeat for the 2 double half hitch knots on both sides, row of square knots 2 more times below. Once you're completed, if you start counting the rows of square knots from the center of the pattern from the top, you should have a total of 12 rows. Now we're going to start a new pattern, but a similar pattern. We're going to start with the far left and far right 2 cords, attach it onto the left and right sides of the ring with double half hitch knots. Now we're going to make an alternating square knot row excluding the left 2 and far right 2 cords. Then continue the same pattern downwards with the far left and far right 2 cords with double half hitch knots onto the ring, and then a row of square knots. Continue until you have 8 cords left in the middle at the bottom. Once you have reached the bottom with just 8 cords left in the center and a 2 square knot row, we're going to take these cords to the back of the ring and then attach these cords one by one onto the ring using double half hitch knots. We're going to ensure that we pull on these double half hitch knots tightly so that the square knot is as close to the bottom of the ring as possible. And the back side of the wall pocket is now complete. To start this next section, which is the front part of the wall pocket, is that we're going to take 2 strands of cord at 150 centimeters long, folded in half, place the loop ends side by side, and then take the far left and far right cords as working cords and make a square knot. This can be done easier by pinning or taping the top loops down to a stable surface. Now repeat this pattern once more with another set of 2 cords. Now taking these 2 square knots side by side, we're going to separate out the far left 2 cords and the far right 2 cords, and with the middle 4 cords, we're going to make an alternating square knot. Once this pattern is complete, we're going to make another set of these 2 square knots with 1 underneath. Place the two patterns side by side, and then with the middle two cords, we're going to make a diagonal double half hitch knot to the left. Then continue with 3 more diagonal double half hitch knots after that. Then taking the middle right cord as an anchor cord, make 3 diagonal double half hitch knots to the right. Once done, we're going to make another of those 2 square knot columns, and we're going to attach it to the right side of the pattern with another upside down V-shaped double half hitch knot pattern. Then make another 2 more of those patterns and make 2 more upside down V-shaped patterns. Once all the sections are connected together, we're going to finish off the left side with a diagonal double half hitch knot row to the right. Then repeat the same thing on the right side, mirroring the left. Now finally, under each of the V-shaped double half hitch knot patterns, we're going to add one more double half hitch knot to the left. So taking the two anchor cords, take the left cord as the working cord for a double half hitch knot onto the right anchor cord. Then repeat this 4 more times to the right. Once all the double half hitch knots are completed at the bottom of every V, we're going to continue with the diamond patterns. Starting on the left side, we're going to take that bottom right cord as an anchor cord for 3 double half hitch knots diagonally to the right. Then we're going to repeat the same thing directly across from it for 3 double half hitch knots to the left. Now with the middle 2 cords underneath, we're going to finish off with one more diagonal double half hitch knot to the left. Finish off this V-shaped pattern 3 more times to the right. We're now going to repeat this pattern once more with the 3 sections in the middle. So make 3 more V-shaped patterns in the middle. Then lastly, make 2 more rows and then finish off with 1 more row underneath that. And now the fold section of the pattern is complete. We're now going to take our back section and then place the front fold on top of it and start attaching it onto the back portion. To do that, we're going to first skip the far left and far right 4 cords and then take the next 4 cords down. On the left side, we're going to make a square knot. Then continue 4 cords at a time for a row of square knots to the right, and then repeat the same thing on the right side. Then underneath, in between 2 square knots, we're going to make an alternating square knot, and then continue all the way to the right for an alternating square knot row. Now we're going to start weaving some of the cords through on the left and right sides of the pattern. Right underneath the loop patterns at the top on the back, we're going to weave 2 cords through a hole there on both sides. So you can use a crochet hook for this part of the pattern. We're just going to bring the top 2 cords through the right side and then repeat the same thing onto the left side. Then with the next set of cords downwards on both sides, we're going to weave them through the next hole down from the pattern at the back. Then continue weaving one cord at a time after that through the holes closest to the ring at the bottom of the back pattern. Once all the cords are weaved through to the back side, we're going to turn the pattern upside down, and then using the top cord on both sides as anchor cords, we're going to make a row of double half hitch knots to the bottom. So starting with the left side, we're going to separate out what the cords are at the back and what the cords are at the front, and then just fold the front cords so that we don't accidentally attach those onto the double half hitch knot row here. We're going to separate out those cords, then taking that top cord as the anchor cord, like I've said, we're going to make a row of double half hitch knots to the bottom. Continue this pattern stopping at the middle left cord at the bottom. Then on the right side, we're going to repeat the exact same pattern with a row of double half hitch knots all the way to the bottom, stopping at the middle right cord. Then with the middle two cords at the bottom, we're going to finish off with one more double half hitch knot. Now that that's complete, we can cut off the excess cords at the back, leaving about 1 centimeter to 2 of extra fringe. And that is what the pattern should look like at the back with the front pocket attached. All that's left to do is add the tassels and then trim the fringe. Hopefully you've saved the excess cords that we had trimmed off at the back. We're going to use some of those cords to make the tassels. Taking 3 strands at about 25 centimeters in length, we're going to comb through it. and then attach it onto the top row of diamonds. I'm going to attach it onto the middle right diamond. We're going to take one end and weave it through the right side of the diamond, take the left end and weave it through the left side. Then bring both ends at the back to the front through the bottom middle hole. Once the tassel is pulled through, we're going to comb through the tassel at the bottom and then shape and trim off the excess cords. Then add these tassels to the remainder of the diamonds on the top row and then add 3 more to the second row. Once all the tassels are added, we're going to trim off the fringe at the bottom. Because this is a round pattern, I'm going to mimic that round pattern to shape the fringe. And this is the end result. And that concludes our round wall pocket tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and learned lots from it. There are definitely some unique knotting techniques in this tutorial that you can definitely apply to your own macrame creations. As always, please reach out if you have any questions or comments, and if you do complete this piece, make sure you tag me on Instagram @BochiKnot, as I'd love to see them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.